Say hey, Yellow Jacket football fans. Welcome to In the Press Box, brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club. And joining me is Calhoun's head football coach, Coach Clay Stevenson. And don't forget, folks, you can listen to the podcast and listen to what Coach Clay has to say about the previous game and the upcoming game by going to calhountdclub.com and listening to the interviews. Coach, how you doing? Congratulations on a big victory.
Good. That was nice. It was a fun night. The storms kind of moved in around us and cooled it off a little bit, which everybody was happy about that. But you start back in January looking forward to that first game, and it's 8 months away back then, and it kind of comes up on you real quickly at the end of it. But it's always nice to win the opener, and all that hard work they've been putting in comes to fruition, and especially at home, getting to win at home. The crowd was awesome. Student section was amazing, so hopefully we can keep both of those up. It's going to be a long time before we're back at home, but they made the most of it Friday night.
Yes, we have a bye week coming up this Friday, so we will not be playing any games, but we will have a podcast for you next week also. I thought our home attendance was really, really good. The student body section, I don't know if you could have fit 5 or 10 more people into it. It was just crammed. The animal kingdom was out and cheering.
Yeah, that's right. It was, I guess, the jungle theme for them, but I don't think that parking and pregame stuff was too much of an issue, because of all the construction going on. It's really that one strip of road is all that's affected. The only thing that's really getting affected with the traffic flow. But I feel like it probably had some kinks to get ironed out, and then us coming through that single gate is a little bit tougher than what we're used to. But
it's much narrower.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we'll do whatever we have to do to in the meantime because we know it's going to be a nice facility over there. So like I said, a few kinks to work out just logistically, but we've got almost a month until Cambridge comes. So it was a good night.
I like the gathering place in the square of the education buildings of the school campus itself around the fountain. That's a really nice setup. It's more homey, more collegiate type atmosphere.
No doubt. If it was a little bit closer, it would be a perfect spot. But the staff had a tailgate, and the Touchdown Club kind of combined their tailgates with the CCS staff, and I think they had a good turnout there. And they were definitely glad the weather changed a little bit, because during the day it was pretty hot, and Justin and Vam were over there cooking, and some other guys. So it was a good night, from the tailgate all the way up till the end of the game fireworks. Those were amazing.
I had a friend had 2 younger sons come to the game, and he said, "Do they normally set off fireworks, a lot of fireworks?" Like I said, yeah. I said it's a raucous affair, particularly when we're winning.
Yeah, that was. And Scott waited to the end this time. Last year he jumped the gun one of the times,
right.
But he does an amazing job with the fireworks and loves doing them. So it adds a whole lot to like you said, to the win after the game.
Yeah, it creates a nice atmosphere. A 28-3 victory. You're up 21-3 at halftime. How big this has been a nice rivalry. 2 hard-nosed teams, 2 hard-nosed coaches going at each other who respect each other. I know you communicate with Coach Trevor Williams a lot, but we're going right at it. We're up, 14-3, and then they punt down to us. We get the ball down deep in our territory at our 20-yard line. First down, we don't gain anything. Then we hand it off to number 9, and he just takes it to the house with some nice blocking by Bagley's beast up front. How important was that touchdown and the extra point kick that ensued to make it 21-3?
Every touchdown was pretty important. The big plays, like I think we talked about Friday night, that was the difference in the game.
Yes.
Because we didn't play as good as the score indicated. So I made sure yesterday when we had our team meeting, we don't need to have a false sense of we have arrived yet. You take out those 2 big plays on offense, then Hunter had a big interception down in the fringe of the red zone. You take those out, and it's a totally different ball game. So we've got a ton of work to do, but it's nice having those big plays, and seeing Isaiah run away from guys is a credit to his work in the off season, and up front. It was we blocked on that particular play. We had Alec Upshaw, who was in at tight end. He blocked two guys that led this way to Isaiah running 80 yards. So a lot goes into a football play. A lot goes into seeing Isaiah leave everybody. So it was definitely a team effort.
Yeah, and Justin Beasley had a nice catch and run and got us down to the 3-yard line earlier in the game. So like you said, a couple of big plays. Yes, it's easy when you get a 28-3 victory, which is the largest margin of victory by either team in this 4-year series that we've had so far. And then you start looking at internet, et cetera, and there's Calhoun. We're ranked number 1 in 3A, et cetera. Like you said, we haven't completely arrived yet.
Yeah, no, and the other big play with Beasley, that was I think that was the one that made it 14. I think he scored our second touchdown on a 50-yard pass, and it was a great protection up front. Picked up everybody. Hudson Chadwick had a big pickup on the blitz, and Trace threaded the needle to Justin, and Justin made the rest count. So, like I said, a lot of big plays in the game is what you want, but I like those 8, 10, 12 play drives just as much because it
eats up some clock.
Like the first drive,
yes.
Not many big plays in it, but just kind of a gradual move down the field, and then the defense played lights out. You didn't really – there was never really a threat of they may score a few touchdowns. You always – they can always sort of make big plays as well, but I didn't feel like they were going to be able to drive it consistently on us after the first quarter and a half. You kind of got a feel of how we were playing and how they were playing. So – all in all, a great night, and had a solid special teams night as well. Jaden Perkins he didn't even punt until this summer, and Blake, our punter last year, backup punter, was going to be out for a few weeks, so we had punting tryouts, and we had 5 or 6, 7 of them, and we fired a few of them pretty early, but Jaden just kept at it and worked at it, and then he had that one really good punt after that first the first time they stopped us.
Yeah, he had 53 yard or something like that. It was a real nice punt. Yeah, the guys did really, really well. I know these non-region contracts are usually 2-year contracts. Has there been any talk about renewing, or this is off into the future? We got to worry about the season.
Yeah, not too much in the future. Really, whenever they, I guess October-ish, whenever they redo the region alignments, that's when you start really trying to look for games because we don't know how many we'll have.
Right.
Hopefully we'll have a big region and less non-region games to find because they're a nightmare, especially when you coming off a state championship. Not too many people are going to be answering the phone, so hopefully we'll have more region games, less non-region games. But yeah, we'll. It's a good rivalry. We played 4 years in a row, so we'll kind of see where we are in the middle of the year, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have no game this coming Friday. I'm sure you and the coaches will be split up and going to other games, watch games. I know Cartersville's got a game close by, play against a good team. I think they play Rockmart.
Yeah, Cartersville's got Rockmart. Westminster plays at Pace, and then Cambridge plays at Johns Creek.
So do you all split up and go different places?
Yeah, we'll kind of tag team it and figure out where we're going,
where we're headed.
Yeah.
But anyway, it'll be a busy Friday night for you, and then obviously a week from this Friday, we will be back home, or not back home. We will be at Westminster to take on the Wildcats. An interesting team, interesting game last year, in that we had a nice lead into the fourth quarter. They get a couple touchdowns and make things a little bit tight, and we end up making a defensive stop as the clock runs out and the game ends.
Yeah, I can't remember too much about last year's. We'll go back and check it this year, but I know it was a good win for us last year coming off the bye week. So we hadn't really dove into them much yet. We'll do that this weekend. We've been focusing on, because we've got a ton of mistakes to correct, things to get better at that we if we want to get to where we want to go, that we've got to improve on. And, focusing on last week's game a little bit more. The players of the week, we'll go over those real quick. Offensive player of the week was Justin Beasley. Like you said, he had several great catches, one diving catch, one scramble catch.
Yes.
Had just about busted it on the jet sweep with him. Defensive player of the week was Hunter White. He had a very solid night. You saw the interception, the great catch he made there, but he played really good throughout the year.
Looked like he had octopus hands.
That's right. Special teams player of the week was Logan Spear. He was a maniac on the kickoff team. Had one really good hit, but then had several others that he was shedding blocks and being right where he needed to be. So it was great to have him back and able to contribute on the field. He's one that he was out all last year. From the scrimmage on, but he showed up every practice. He was one of the first ones there when we practiced at 6 in the morning throughout the year. And, sometimes when guys are out for the whole year, they're, we're not going to look for them. So they're kind of, hit or miss sometimes of being at every practice. But that sucker was at every single one. So I got a huge respect for Logan. And then, like I said, finally getting to contribute on Friday nights was pretty special to watch. Hog of the week was Trey Perkins. Trey's playing amazing football. He's showing that he's got some experience and really coming into his own at left tackle.
Coach, if we had a marbles team, he would work really, really hard at being the best marbles player. He's great on the basketball court, and he's great on the football field.
Yeah, no, he's doing a great job. Heart speed, we gave it to 3 different guys that played a bunch of plays. I don't have their number of plays right on top of my head, but Alec Upshaw, Isaiah Knowles, and Hudson Chadwick all played a lot of both ways snaps, and it was the way the game plan kind of turned out, I guess, was a lot of 2 or 3 tight end sets. So that was causing Alec, and then the next one, our extra mile where was Bo Kelly having to play a lot of plays on on both sides of the ball. So all those guys did a tremendous job on Friday night.
Bo didn't come off the field too much, did he?
Yeah, he didn't. We having some injuries after the scrimmage, we had to churn people around, and that's one of the things I was a little bit disappointed about in the after the game is that we needed to practice better with our backups and threes. They got to understand that they're one play away, and we've got to be able to trust you to go out there and play. And that's one thing. Like with Bo Kelly, we feel good. He could probably go play any position on the field, given a couple of days of practice, just because he pays attention, he understands football. And then Friday night we looked and we had people that thought they were just offensive players. We needed them on defense, but we didn't trust them to go in, and vice versa. People that were we needed some defensive guys and offensive guys to just play football, and we didn't. So we've got to get better at that.
Yes, you mentioned that after the game when we taped your TV show. That'll come, and the guys just have to remember. You're first of all a football player. Mm-hmm. Just because you've been practicing with the defense, you may be needed on offense. So you need to pay attention. That's right. What we're doing offensively as well as
and they both practice both ways. So that's the thing.
Exactly.
We should have had a little bit better subbing system in place, I guess, and when we didn't, but we'll get that fixed.
Oh yeah, that'll come. And this is the first game of the season, and the schedule gets tougher as we go along, and our region schedule, we've got a couple teams in the region that are going to be better than they were last year.
Oh yeah.
And we still got some. There's just a lot to do yet, and it's early in the season. Tickled to death with a 28-3 victory, and it gets us off to a better start than what it was last year. Yes, a lot of people are patting this team on the back from a distance, maybe not here on campus, but you keep working, and hopefully the weather will cooperate, and we won't have 95-degree weather, although you're pretty good at dodging it right now. Only a couple cramping issues during the game Friday.
Yeah, we more than we should have. That's another thing that we've got to get better at, of just making sure our bodies are ready to play a football game. And some of them weren't on Friday night, but we'll keep working on that.
And we're still dealing with 15 to 18-year-olds that look you in the face and say yes and then don't do.
That's right.
Because you're practicing early in the morning and they're gone for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes when you're practicing in the evening when the weather, this heat wave gets away, they're tired. They go home and they lay down and they're not doing anything other than maybe eating and drinking.
Yeah.
So it'll all work out well. A great start to the season. We don't have a game this coming Friday. The coaches will be out looking at the various teams that are coming up in non-region. I'm going to let you get back to your duties. Any final comments?
No, again, a great Friday night of Calhoun football. It's great, seeing the band on the field before the game and the stands packed, and then the players being able to go out and perform for their home at their home stadium and getting the win was pretty special.
Yeah, this was one of the better, from my point of view, it was one of the better opening nights as far as attendance and enthusiasm, et cetera. And hopefully, I think it will stay the same throughout the rest of the season because this is going to be a fun season. A lot of expectations for this team, but I think this team is capable of rising to the occasion.
Yeah, we got a long way to go. We got to make sure that we're just getting better each day, and then letting Friday nights take care of themselves. But I like where we are right now. We just still got a long way to go.
Just stay in our own lane, right?
That's right.
Exactly. Folks, we really appreciate you listening. Once again, you can listen. Go to CalhounTDClub.com and listen to the podcast In the Press Box with Coach Clay. And once again, thanks for listening. We will see you next week. Coach, good luck and good health.
Appreciate it.
You've been listening to In the Press Box with head football coach Clay Stevenson.